you wrote an article, kind of takeaways from Alex Wright contract extension, which it's 3 years, 30 some million, 21 guaranteed. Not a huge deal by any stretch. And what do you think it kind of sets up for then moving forward?
Well, there's a couple of things. First, Andrew Berry's still doing his job and still extending contracts. He's spending money in the future, which, I mean, I'm not going to say it guarantees that he's safe, but the Browns aren't operating like a team that's ready to make major changes. And beyond that, Alex Wright is not a fit for everybody. He's a very good run stopper, not a great pass rusher. He does some interesting things well athletically in terms of he's really light on his feet and runs around like looking like a linebacker at times in space. But he's not somebody that like every defense is going to clamor for. So, if you were thinking of trying to change over personnel and staff and all that thing, there's a world where Alex Wright doesn't fit that. So it's just curious from that standpoint. More to the point, though, it is sort of in a trend, which I expect to continue, which is the Browns are going to lock up as many guys on the defensive side of the ball as they can, which is going to allow them to focus everything on the offensive side of the ball. So there's two guys that now stand out that are positions that need to be addressed. One is Ronnie Hickman, who's going to be a restricted free agent. So it's possible the Browns just sort of wait and sign him to a restricted tender and deal with him that way. But it wouldn't shock me if they just decided to sign him to a contract extension to get that sort of taken care of, betting that he's going to continue to grow and become the starting free safety. He's done a nice job there in his first season there. The other spot is linebacker, and Devin Bush is playing really, really well. Now, I'm keeping an eye on Devin Bush because how the Browns handle Devin Bush is going to be a clear indication of what they think of the chances that JOK is returning. If they sit there and resign Devin Bush and we just move on, they've probably figured that that's JOK's career is officially over. And if they don't, that might provide life to the idea that JOK could come back and people can live in the idea that Carson Schwessinger and JOK could be teammates on the same field. And if they were to do that, that's all 11 positions taken care of for next season that are starters. The other guy that I'm looking at is Cameron Thomas, who I really like, because Myles Garrett is obviously the best, basically the best player on the planet. And then you have Isaiah McGuire and Alex Wright, who are both very, very good run stoppers, not great pass rushers. Cam Thomas is sort of that fourth guy who gives them a nice pass rush. He had a sack yesterday and a bunch of disruption. He's been consistently effective in that regard all year. He's another guy who's on a contract expiring. It wouldn't shock me if the Browns want to get him taken care of just to sort of sew up that area of the edge room and clear up one more issue heading to that. But all of this sort of sets up to the Browns being in a position where they can just sit there and go into the offseason and go, defense is done. I mean, we make some changes around the edges, but we are going to put everything into the offensive side of the ball. And whether or not that's Kevin Stefanski, whether that's a new staff, otherwise, again, this move continues to make me think that they're not in a hurry to get rid of anybody at this point. But either way, they are setting up everything to just put a new offense on the field.
So let me ask you this. You look at and as they win, if they win a couple more games, they're going to be dropping even further down. I think they need so much on the offensive side of the ball. I don't think you can combine your 2 first-round picks to move up unless there's a quarterback you feel like you can't live without, because you need a couple of linemen, you need a wide receiver. You need those. You need those around whomever is going to play quarterback.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting discussion. I'm on your camp because not only do I think the Browns shouldn't want to combine picks, I'd be inclined to trade down and continue to add assets just to continue to add those things, because I think the Browns desperately need to get another premium wide receiver, and they need as many linemen as they can get. So if they were to, whether it's Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, or someone else next year, and they sort of punt for 2027 from that standpoint, but they can get a Mekhi Lemon or a Carnell Tate and then fill out the rest of the line with those other picks, this offense gets dramatically better. I mean, you sit there and you watch Quinshon Judkins and you just sit there and you go, how much better would he look with better blocking? How much better would this offense look if they could protect more consistently, regardless of who's in the backfield? Obviously, look, if the Browns love a quarterback, they're gonna pull the trigger because that would set everything up. And I think, the Raiders being as bad as they were sort of helps, but just having a quarterback be able to sort of function and move the offense the way Shador's did, which didn't produce huge numbers, but just produced a couple big plays, it just made you feel like there's a world of possibility there if they can just take care of those other elements first. But the franchise quarterback thing is going to continue to hang over this team, and they want to get it done.